Good morning, afternoon, whatever. What time is it? Midday. Usually when I'm sleeping. On sometimes on days and I'm not working. I don't know. I'm about to leave the house, so I just had a thought about inner dialogue in my head lately. I'm sure a lot of people struggle with this. And I could do a longer video about this at some time, but it's just the idea of persistence. I posted some videos from Ren lately, who I just discovered through the YouTube algorithms. But he's got an amazing story about suffering with chronic illness, mental illness, undiagnosed Lyme disease for about, I think he said it was at least 7 years, which is crazy. You know, if you struggle with mental health, often paired with, physical chronic health issues, it's a struggle. I had I don't know if I call it a triggering moment or a resurfacing moment the other day of just a feeling of my childhood, and it was totally just random dealing with people totally unrelated to the feeling, which I understand now from therapy, but just kind of a feeling of not being visible, not being acknowledged, just I don't know. I think a lot of us feel like that sometimes, especially with the internet and social media, and we don't go out, we don't do anything, and it's hard being a neurodivergent person. You're just not for some people. Some people love you, and some people are gonna look at you like, what the F? I don't know what is going on with you. So yeah, it's a weird world, but yeah, that's my thought today. It's just that inner God in my head. I don't want to do this. Not life, although sometimes it can feel that way, but just little things, like leaving the house. I do want to go out, but I don't want to go out, and getting the motivation is I don't know where the dopamine is lately. It's just not happening. I should probably change my supplements up again, but I counted between September, when my kids started school, and about a month ago when I think I'm finally just getting over a cough, an upper respiratory that I had for a month and a half. It still comes sometimes when I laugh too much or I talk a lot. But yeah, I was sick 9 times with 9 different things. I'm so tired of it. And this isn't even chronic illness issues. This is just communicable diseases from, children. In the work environment and stuff. But I think if I didn't have a kid in school, it probably wouldn't be that bad, because I worked the night shifts and I don't really hang out with any people. But it is what it is. Kids have to go to school. If you want to have kids, enjoy the ride there. But I definitely fell off of my routine of what I was working on. Back in about November, I had done my PT for my sciatic pain, which is not, it has been much better. I had a flare of it about a week or 2 ago, and you know what it was? It was when I did the Pride Parade, and I walked 6 miles back and forth in those big shoes. I don't know, I'm not only had to learn persistence, but I'm kind of stubborn. So I don't, it's this is something I've talked to my therapist about too, is I don't want to, I guess in a way, acknowledge, or my brain somehow, when I look at myself and other people my age, I don't feel like I'm in the same, I feel like I'm in better shape than a lot of people that are in their 40s, even with my chronic health issues. So it's I'm always trying to do everything that people that are 20 are doing. And I'm always looking at myself in comparison to people that are 20, instead of if I look at people that are my own age, I'm oh wow, some of y'all have not taken care of yourselves, okay? And you can always turn it around. I just posted it, video on Instagram today about a man who's 102 and went plant-based when he was 69. So, you know, if you could go plant-based at 69 and live to over 102, like, what could you do if you're even younger? It's never too late to start. It doesn't cure everything. I still have issues, and it's very frustrating when people who know me that are like pro eating meat and kind of, I would say almost like they want to find a flaw in veganism. Like every time I say I get some illness or I have some chronic health problem, they want to like be like, oh, was that from before, you know, after you went vegan? Or like, no, that's like, I've been dealing with this shit for 20 years, pardon my French. So yeah, I fell off of my exercise routine. Then about a week ago, my sciatic acted up. Then I was doing my PT exercises, which I have like a list of all the things that I do, and it only takes about half an hour, but it's like, it's hard. Like even the modified plank that I'm supposed to do and the side planks, like it's like you're supposed to do a couple reps of them for like 30 seconds, and like after 15 seconds I was like in pain. I couldn't hold it, and I'm like, it's so frustrating because it's like I was making progress with it, and now it's like I feel like I fell back. And it's like you never fall back as far as you were, but it's just frustrating. And like that's kind of life. It's like, you know, things are always changing. You're always gonna have to push through and struggle through with certain things, so I have to do that. I kind of like put that off. I gotta go see another specialist for chronic health stuff. I'm going to see someone for my lungs, which I haven't since I got the Rona back in 2021 or 2020, I don't know, it was the end or beginning of one. But I had problems with my lungs before that because I had problems when I was pregnant with my daughter, which could be related to hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, if that's what I have, or not. Who knows? I know one of my parents has a pretty close relative who has a rare genetic mutation that makes you more likely to get lung cancer, which unfortunately they did end up developing and found through like just an accident. They had to go to the hospital for something and they didn't even know. So it sucks. That's a hard way to live, like always dealing with chronic stuff. So the stuff with Ren, I think, really hit me this week because I was like, wow, like people, you know, they get it. Like some people's lives seem easier than others, and sometimes it's frustrating that people can, you know, just seem to do whatever and not have health issues. Though I think people hide a lot or like just don't talk about what's going on with them. So, you know, that's the flaw of social media, is that it makes it seem like things are better for people than they are. So yeah, I have to, just filling out the paperwork for a new position and having to think about that is like, I don't want to do this. I've literally been to, I don't know, I've seen over 20 doctors and specialists. It's probably double that, to be honest, if you count going to ER visits and all the other things I've done over the years. And, you know, I will revisit and talk more about health stuff and more about my health journey, which I, you know, started talking about before. It's a long, complicated thing, and I know other people who are kind of starting their health journey, and they know that they need to make changes, and I try to support them by just telling them, you know, you don't change it overnight. I didn't go gluten-free, vegan, no high fructose corn syrup, no artificial colors or flavors, or no hydrogenated. I didn't do all that at once. I didn't change all my supplements. I didn't change my whole lifestyle all in one day. You know, that's overwhelming to do. So everybody's on a different place in their journey. But you know, some days you really have to, like, okay, I'm gonna get out of the house. I gotta go to the store. I gotta do this thing. I still, obviously, you can see what I'm dressed in. To be honest, I'm not a modest person. I'm really not. And I look like I'm a modest person because I'm covered from head to toe, but like, it's no. And yeah, I made a post recently about some things from my past, and people trying to tell me what to wear that I dated, and it's like, if I'm going out at night and the sun's not up, I don't wear whatever I want. I'm sorry, but like, if you don't like it, you bought it. Like, better return it, because you know it's just ridiculous if you're so insecure that you can't handle what somebody wears. That's another topic we can go into sometimes, but that's insecurity, and you have to have agreement with your partners. So you know, but I get stressed going out in the sun. I was out in the sun, let's see, when I did the Pride Parade from about 9 a.m. until about 3 p.m. and it did rain, which that was fun to walk back in the rain. But I did it. It's fine. It's whatever. You just have to keep going. And I just started a new reel, like it's a new featured highlights thing on my Instagram. If you go like above the pictures and below the profile description, and you scroll, there's more than like 4 or 5. I've got like 30 of them. Like, if you scroll, they're all different collections of things I've written stories about. So like, or I've shared stories about. They're not things that I've necessarily posted. But I started one for centenarians because, as I mentioned before, it's kind of like a little bit of a I wouldn't say obsession with me, but you know, a special interest. It's a special interest of mine. Like, why can't we live to 100? And I posted recently one of the customers at my job. I've been with the same company for like almost 10 years now. One of the customers this year, he would have turned 100, and I think, I'm not 100% sure, I thought his birthday was later this month, like, but I could be wrong about. I want to say he told me he's a Leo, which would not be surprising, given how stubborn he was, in good ways. But yeah, like, I still give him a, you know, I give him an A for effort. Like, he 99 is good. He refused, like, he literally refused to sit down and be, which, if you have to, you have to. I know, like, I have friends who are diagnosed with EDS and POTS, and it's like, if you guys sit down, you can't be passing out, you know, like, you got to do what you got to do. So don't be ridiculous, but you also have to keep going. And I watched kind of some updates recently about Montel Williams as well, and I always thought his story was interesting, getting diagnosed with MS, which was something they looked into for me because I have a problem in my right eye where I have partial loss of vision, and they had to check me to see if I had any like type of tumors in my head or if I had any MS like lesions or things going on in there, which they haven't seen. Maybe because I mean, who knows? It could be slow onset because I've changed my habits, or it just could have been some totally random virus, stress, whatever. Who knows what thing that happened to me. So yeah, I had learned about MS early in my 20s, and Montel was diagnosed with it, and I've heard him talk about like the pain that he had. I'm sure he still deals with every day, all the supplements he was taking, the pushing through the exercise, and like, man, when you have chronic pain, it's like anything like that, like for me as a hypermobile person, like if you overdo it, it's not hard. That's why like my sciatic was hurting after the parade a few weeks ago. I probably shouldn't have. Normally I probably could walk 6 miles and it wouldn't be a big deal if I would have worn the correct shoes, but I wouldn't look cute. This is the pride got in the way of pride. But I wanted to wear cute shoes, and I haven't been very active because of getting sick so many times. And out of those 9 times getting sick, at least 7 of them were respiratory. One was like just a stomach thing where I was like puking. But yeah, and I want to exercise to build my core strength, to work on, you know, conditioning myself so I'm not having so many sciatic issues. I have a physical job on purpose. it's hard to get motivated to go to the gym, though I loved it when I had more time and I didn't have a kid. But I want to be able to continue to do my job and pay my bills and be independent. And like, it's really nice, like the post I made recently, it's wild to pay your part, and sometimes more than your part, when you're in relationships or live with people, have roommates, whatever, and you just have people that act like you never did anything. And it's like, okay, we can, tell ourselves that story. It's not really true, but okay. So now, I have my own place. It's peaceful, it's quiet sometimes, which is, sometimes it's good, and sometimes it leaves you sitting in your thoughts when you're, processing CPTSD and all that stuff's coming up in your memories, and you're like kind of releasing all that tension in your body, which can cause chronic health issues. Like, I was reminded after having a rough day a few days ago that I was seeing doctors for years, and they were telling me that I probably had fibromyalgia. Some days I could barely get up out of my car. Like, I drive to work or get ready to drive to work, get in the car, and I'm like, I cannot barely get myself up out of this car because I'm in so much pain. And it's stress. When you live in stress all the time, it hurts your gut, it hurts your body. There's so much adrenaline in your body. You're having nightmares. Like, it's a really rough way to live. And I'm in pain all the time for many of my chronic health issues, but like, there are a whole other levels to it that like I don't live in on a regular basis anymore. But yeah, I woke up last night and it took me a while to get back to sleep because I've been, more stressed than I had in a while, but you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. So, gotta go to this appointment with this specialist in a few weeks. They rescheduled on me, so now I have to go later. Gotta fill out all that paperwork, gotta talk to people, see if they're gonna actually take my story seriously or just say, we don't know what we can do. The limitations of the medical system has been something I've had to learn. It's so hard as a neurodiverse person. The way you think things should work and the way things actually work, especially in such a capitalistic society, they're not the same. Very often they don't math, in that sense. And if you think about money and liability, yeah, okay, now we got it. I got that. I gotta still gotta get my tooth worked on. I have two. I gotta get 3 elective root canals. Who's excited? Not me, because they always have to give me a million shots of, they don't use, what do they use anymore? Not Novocaine. Whatever they use on your teeth now. Yeah, it doesn't last for me. And it takes a while for it to really work. So, I'm not that excited, but, I like having actual teeth in my mouth if I can help it. Like, dentures is, for someone with mandibular tori, it's not a fun thing to go through. So it's a lot of stuff, and you just get tired. And like, I mean, that other post today on my page is about it might sound kind of negative, but like, I've been trying to stay off of dating apps, to be honest, because like, they're just kind of like a waste of time. They're exhausting. And it's funny being on some of them for years that you just see the same people, and like they're on there, it seems like they're on there all the time, like, or it doesn't seem like they're very successful. And I've had bad experiences, but yeah, like even in like on the vegan dating apps, like there's probably some decent people on there, but it's still just because someone is vegan, it doesn't mean that like they're not selfish and manipulative. You still get those people. So that's kind of what my post was about earlier. Like, there's so much, as I've talked about, there's so much intersection between, LGBTQ, people of color, women, human rights, in saying that you're ethical vegan. Like, if you treat women like garbage, that's great that you don't eat animals, but I mean, what about women? What about people of color? What about people who are impoverished? Like, do you, you know? Where's your line? Is it self-serving? Yeah. So, that's an interesting line to walk, but, I don't know. I guess I'm just, enjoying my peace and quiet, having my own place, doing my own thing, working on myself, and trying to be persistent. Some days it does not happen. I had a day the other day I was going to go out, and then I got home from dropping my kid off at school, and I was like, not today. I'll do it tomorrow. That was like 2 days ago. Yeah. And then I ended up going out last night anyway with my kid, which was more fun. But some days are just like, today is a day for me to rest, and I'll try again tomorrow. So I think that's a good thing for all of us to remember, that like when you're having a garbage day, week, month, whatever, like I always say, like, change is the only constant in life. It's never going to stay the same. Even when things are, maybe that's morbid of me, but like even when things are going good, I try to sort of not worry, but I try to enjoy it, because I know that like life is full of ups and downs. So I'm gonna go to the store and buy some really good fruit, because there's a lot of seasonal fruit, and I'm probably spending a little more than I normally would on produce, but it's here and then it's gone. So I don't know if I'm gonna get my workout in tonight. I work a little later today than I normally do, so maybe I will. But if not, I'll do it in the next few days when I'm off. So hope everybody has a good day, and if you don't, just rest and relax, and you can try again tomorrow.